Hello, everyone. We are live here on Sisters in Laws for our weekly chat. Gonna wait till some more people come in the room. Hello, everybody who's coming in. I hope that you are well. And we're gonna be chatting all about Health Week. Hello, Heather.
Long time no see.
Long time no see. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Still on a high?
Getting back into trying to go to work today and get back to normal was not the easiest thing to do, be honest.
Absolutely. So thank you all for joining us here. We are here to talk about Black Maternal Health Week. We are in Wednesday of this week, and there is so much more that's happening the rest of this week. The Black Mamas Matter conference is on Friday and Saturday. So those of you who have not gotten your tickets, definitely get your tickets. It is going to be amazing. They just announced Khalees is a keynote speaker, which is amazing. So I'm excited to hear about her birth and pregnancy story. You know, she just recently had another baby. So definitely join in those conversations there. And then there's a million other organizations under Black Mamas Matter Alliance that are having events pretty much all throughout the day. There's conversations that are happening on Clubhouse. I mean, there's conversations that we are really creating billions of impressions around Black maternal health, Black maternal and infant mortality and morbidity crisis, and what we should be doing to ensure this conversation extends not only just through this week, but the rest of the year. So I'm excited that my friend Heather is here with me. Heather Wilson. Introduce yourself, Heather.
Yeah. So I'm having. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
If you saw my phone was propped up right now, you'd be scared. So my name is Heather Wilson, and I am the founder and executive director of Kennedy's Angel Gowns. Kennedy's Angel Gowns is an organization that I formed in honor of my daughter, Kennedy, who passed away. Kennedy passed away in 2009, and this is her living legacy. And she's been making great things happen ever since. So what our organization does is we provide burial gowns for babies who pass away too soon. They're made from donated wedding dresses. And of course, I have some right here to show you.
Hell, let the people know.
Yes. So these are one of the amazing gowns that we offer families free of charge. It's insane that, just yesterday we were at the White House speaking on this, and in the last 24 hours, we have had 3 families reach out that need gowns. So this is real. This is very real.
So real, and the work that you all do, and the work you're doing, and we always are talking and strategizing behind the scenes on how we can really amplify our voices louder. So let's talk about how this opportunity came about, because a lot of people were dropping in my DMs today and asking, like, girl, how did you get this opportunity? God, I'll say that.
That's it.
God, really, to be honest with you guys, someone said my name in a room and said, hey, you may be a good person to share this. This is what someone is looking for on a committee within the White House. So I got on the phone with this individual. They reached out to me on Instagram. I checked my DMs. Y'all don't disrespect them DMs. So then she forwarded my contact information to this individual who's a part of like another committee. She contacted me, and then we had a conversation. She was like, oh yeah, you would be a perfect fit for this opportunity. And then she forwarded my name to our White House contact. And our contact there, really got with me and asked me, I shared with her my story, and she was like, oh yeah, she'll be perfect for this opportunity. I looked at your website. I saw what you did. Give me some list of names of individuals and share their stories with me. So I sent her an email with essentially everybody. The folks that I picked were already on the podcast. So I sent her links to everyone's episodes and then essentially their bios. And then she chose Heather, which, and I was like, well, I told her it was a coincidence because, Heather was my first guest on the podcast. I reached out to Heather August of 2017. I want to say maybe it was July. I don't know. It was in that range. She had just launched Kennedy's Angel Gowns. You had just had your walk. Your walk was in the newspaper in Hampton Roads, or it was on the news or something like that. And my grandmother saw it. That's the only reason why I knew about you. My grandmother saw you on the news and was like, Erica, I know you're doing this podcast. You need to contact that girl on the news to be that does the angel gown. She calls you the angel gown girl. And that's how, literally the rest is history. And it's been almost 4 years where, Heather's one of my closest friends. We've done some things together. So it was such an honor to be able to share this experience with you, Heather. So I would love for you to share how this experience has been for you over this last 24 hours.
My mind is still blown. I still have chills. I can't even believe that. And I know that, like you said, you sent multiple names, and to be selected, I can't even put it into words. It was, in the ministry that we do right now, we hear thousands of stories from women, and to be that voice, to sit at that table and be the voice for all these women, I still can't wrap my mind around it. I'm still just trying to process it. And just all of the people that are reaching out to, I know you too, because we've been kind of messaging all day, from not just Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn. People are trying to find us and get more information, and they want to know, and they care so much because they've been affected, or they know someone else who has been affected, and they know that this issue is real. This is a crisis. This is a pandemic. This situation right here is a pandemic. So it's I'm still on my high. I have not come down yet. I'm absolutely exhausted emotionally because I think my nerves were just so bad, but still just
I realized my nerves were bad. Not when I got home yesterday, but I went to sleep. I put Maxwell down early. I think I got off the phone with my girl Erika probably about almost at 10. And from 10, I thought I was gonna sleep all night. Girl, I woke up at 3 a.m. and could not get back to sleep. That's when I knew my nerves were bad.
Same.
I was like, why am I up? Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm up. Let me answer some DMs. Let me respond to some emails. And essentially that's what I did at 3 this morning. My goodness.
When I came home, I had a house full of people that we were just like, whoa, what is this? We stayed up till 2 a.m. They wanted to hear every single detail. So we stayed up till 2 telling the story and just, just kind of enjoying and sitting in it, because I still can't believe that happened. I can't believe. And I just want to share one thing before you move on to the next topic. So as we were driving down, I realized that, go ahead. Okay. So as we were driving down, I realized that I have 2 stories, if you don't mind. I have 2 stories. So as we were driving down, I realized I hadn't shared with my pastor yet. So I called my pastor and his wife, and of course they prayed with me, but then of course they also, they poured into me as well. And one of the things my pastor said was this, and it really did stick with me. And it going forward that day, it was like, yeah, this is something that is just so essential and important that you have to make sure you represent well. And so what he said was, please understand that the first 100 days of the administration is what they're going to focus on for the year. And the fact that this topic is what they selected tells you a lot about where things are heading for the direction of organizations like us and for the direction of where this presidency wants to head. So that to me was just like, oh my gosh, you're right. The first 100 days is there's a ton of important things that they could focus on. And the fact that they are like, no, this Black maternal health crisis needs to be talked about, needs to have people having seats at the table that have been through and have are willing to share their stories. It tells us everything that we need to know. And I'm just, like I said, I can't say it enough. I'm honored, humbled, and so thankful and grateful that they are bringing light to something we've been screaming through the rooftops about.
Yes. What was your other story?
Oh, my other story. Okay. So my other story was this. So you never know who you're gonna run into and who shares your same story or a similar story. So being in DC, I had hired I was looking for a makeup artist, and I don't know people in DC. So literally I was going through DMs. And so it was 11 o'clock at night, the night before we went to the White House, and amazing young lady wrote me back, and she said, yeah, just pay your deposit. I can come. I'll be there at 8 in the morning. And so, and my husband was like, wait, so you found someone on Instagram and you're going to allow them in our hotel room? And I'm like, this is normal. Just go with it. So, so we did. And she didn't know what she was doing makeup for. And so she said, well, what are you wearing and what is this for? And so I said, oh, well, we got an hour. You're about to do my makeup. I'm going to tell you the whole story. And I started the story with, in 2009, my daughter was stillborn. And she stopped doing my makeup, and she, like, literally, she has her mask on, of course, but the tears are just streaming down this young lady's face. She's just crying. And I'm like, I didn't even get to the saddest part yet. Like, I just said one sentence. And then it's that look. And I know you all have seen that look that tells you I've been through the same thing, and we're about to share our stories. And so that's what happened. She said, not once, but twice. I had 2 stillbirths. And I seriously, I could not believe it. And we just, what was supposed to be an hour appointment turned into us just sharing stories, similarities, connecting the dots. And one of the things that I want to say that she shared with me was this. She said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but with my first 2 babies, the doctors didn't listen to me, and my babies didn't make it. So when I got pregnant last year, I didn't go to the doctor. I bought a Doppler and I monitored myself, and my baby's here. And to me, and of course, you know what I said to her. I said, well, now I don't think that's crazy, but next time I need you to get a doula. Is what I said. But I just had to share those 2 stories because it was so powerful to have. First of all, I didn't know who was going to do my makeup, but I knew I wasn't walking into the White House without someone. And then for her to have that connection, to have similar stories, it was just nothing but God, nothing but God. She said that. She said, I was ordained
God.
today. You were ordained to sit in the chair today. Those other makeup artists did not work out because I've never shared my story, because I don't talk about this. And guess what, Heather? This month is the anniversary of my daughter's death. So,
Oh gosh, y'all.
yeah.
Yes, someone put yes, a divine connection. That's exactly what it was. And that's exactly how we got this opportunity, y'all. For those who are just joining us, like, it was someone who knew about the podcast, knew about the work that was going on, and really spoke our names in those rooms that we weren't in.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful. I follow Lovey Ajayi. I don't know if you all follow her here on Instagram, but she just put out a new book, hit the New York Times bestseller list. But in one of her chapters in her book, she always talks about, fighting fear, and that's what her book is about, is letting my helpers find me. And anytime she goes into a big room or a big meeting, that is the prayer that she prays. And, I really am living by that prayer, letting my helpers find me. Lord, please put someone in my path that's going to bless me, that I can be a blessing to every single day, every opportunity that I'm given. So I'm just
Yes.
grateful. I don't even know who that person was. Like I know the DM I received, but just the connections that were made in order to grant us this opportunity to be able to share in such a public forum. So let's talk about, Heather, let's walk people through the day and like what we did prior to getting on stage.
So, my husband dropped us off on the corner because, we wanted to keep our heels fresh. We didn't know how much walking we'd be doing that day. And so we found the first gate that they told us to go through the first security gate, which we did so confidently with our passports in hand. And we slid them through because we just thought we were going right through that gate where they told us to go. And they said, your appointment's at 12 and you can't get in till 11 o'clock. And so we walked sadly back, only to look at the clock and realize it was 3 minutes to 11. Kind of huddled up for minutes. And then 3 minutes later, we walked back through the gate and they let us through. So by that time, we had a chance to meet Dr. Howell and Miss Donna, which you watched yesterday. Got to hear their stories and their research. So yes, we walked through the first gate and then the second gate of security, and then we were greeted by the team that we've been working with to help us to get this far. And we took a slow walk. They kind of pointed out some of the historic elements that we would want to know, and told us a little bit about the history, which was really, really cool. At that time, though, we were kind of like walking fast. We weren't really taking pictures yet. We were just following them, and then we went up this staircase that I thought we were never going to get to the top of. And they led us right to the clinic where we would take our COVID tests. So
Something
yeah.
up for people too, because some people think that the auditorium we were in was actually in the White House. Guys, we don't got that security clearance to get in the White House. So no, we were in one of the office buildings that's next to the White House, and that is where that auditorium was located. And I think they do a lot of press type stuff there, but there is obviously the press room that you see on TV in the actual White House. So no, we did not actually go in the White House, but we were right there beside it.
We saw it.
We took pictures in front of the West Wing area. Yeah.
Yeah, West Wing. So that was cool. Then they did our our COVID test and brought us to a room, like another waiting space. So we had to wait to make sure that we were clear and COVID free. And I think it's funny, Erica and I had the same thought, but we didn't share it with each other till after everything was over. And I said, when we were walking to lunch, I said, Erica, I was so scared that they were going to tell one of us, because some of them traveled, from different states. I was so scared that one of us was going to have COVID and not going to be able to participate in the day. And literally, my nerves were so bad about that. And it's something that we would have never had to worry about before. But on this day, I was like, please don't let any of us test positive for COVID. So we were clear. It's funny because they didn't even tell us right away. We were kind of just like waiting. And then,
We had to wait. Yeah, we
yeah.
had to wait.
And she said to us, do you want to get some food? There's a cafeteria. You can get something to drink. And we're all looking like, do you know our nerves right now? No, we're good. We're just going to sit here and stay close to each other. So yeah, so then they took us to the actual space where you all saw us on the television, which looks just like a production studio. Um, it was really cool. There's lots of
Production
tape. Yeah,
studio. Yeah.
yeah, don't trip. Everything is just perfectly placed. We took some pictures there and then went into the green room where they had kind of like snacks and waters and safety pins and lint rollers and all the things you might need before you go on screen. So go
Thing,
ahead.
Heather, I forgot to take a picture of, which I thought was so cute. I should have took a picture of it. You know, they had separate containers with like powder brushes, one that
Yeah.
said VP on it and one that said President on it. I thought that was so cool. I
Yeah.
didn't take pictures of that, but I took pictures of like the pictures from the inauguration. They had pictures all over the green room of the inauguration, of the vice president and her husband, of the president and his family. All of that was all over the green
Beautiful.
room. But I forgot to take a picture of that because I thought that was so
Yeah.
cute.
There was, I couldn't even pick my phone up. Like Erica, what she was snapping away, and like I'm glad she captured it because I was focusing on putting my right foot next to my left. So I am glad you captured that. The other thing that I wanted to capture and couldn't was like how they had the little pockets of like lip balm, cough drops, just anything you might need. There, it was right
It was right
there.
there. It was. And they had a steamer in the bathroom too. I thought that
That,
was cool. They look
yeah.
good before they go out on stage.
So after that, we sat in that room, and that's honestly where I think we got to know the other ladies on the panel the most. We got to shed some tears with them, hold hands, and just really sit in the moment. And that was something that my girlfriends have been telling me is I need you to, okay, be nervous, but I need you to take in this moment because this is like a lifetime opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity. And so I did. I tried to take in that moment. And
I love it. I love it. Yes. I think that we both were like, okay, well, I guess we need to put our heels on and watching our steps going upstairs. And, you know, as soon as, let's talk about when the vice president, Kamala Harris, let me say her full name. We're gonna do I just do. And Ambassador Susan Rice came in.
yes.
Let's talk about how the black girl magic that just shined all across the stage when they came in.
Oh my gosh. So yes, they were announced by the team and they came into the room and it was just that moment. We've been waiting for this moment, of course, but when it happens, it was just like deer in headlights. And of course, she's the vice president. She can read a room. And so she read that. She read these girls are freaked out. Yeah.
Oh, yes. She read us, y'all. But it was like auntie energy though. You know,
Mhm.
like your cool auntie. That's how the energy was. She was just
Yes.
like, coming in there giving us, the elbow pound because we can't touch,
Yeah.
greeting us, amping us up,
Yeah.
really pouring into us.
Empowering us, like telling us it's a pleasure to meet us and telling us how great leaders we were for doing the work that we do and just literally just making you feel like, I mean, just her presence. I mean, it was enough to just make you get a little starstruck.
Definitely starstruck. And one thing that I noticed about her, and when you have people who are in leadership roles, whether it's in corporate or nonprofit or in like political positions, they know how to make the right amount of eye contact. It's like a science. Like for her,
Yeah.
like she greeted us with her eyes and just let
Mhm.
us know and affirmed us just by, obviously we couldn't see her mouth because we all got masks on, right? But just, she gave us that comfort with her eyes and how she really was engaging with us in that conversation. And then, girl, the last part of the conversation before we went live,
Mm.
she said, Vice President Kamala was like, you all are sitting amongst the two most powerful Black women in the world. Girl, we
Mm.
all started clapping and shout. Like she said that, and I was
Mm.
like, okay, Kamala. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, tell us,
And
tell us.
that to, that's the point where my anxiety, I'm not saying it went away, but it came down to like, okay, you can actually speak a word. Because before that, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But yeah, that was what I,
Kamala served us. She was like, y'all are amongst giants. Like
yeah.
we are standing on shoulders of giants. The ancestors are like, girl, do you know who these two powerful women are? Y'all are on the stage with them. Y'all are representing all of the many Black and brown sisters who've had traumatic birth experiences, who've experienced loss, who have really gone through something just to get the babies they have, or the ones who are continuing to try to conceive and
Yes.
are resilient on this journey. So I feel like we all kind of did a deep
Yeah. Like I'll never forget those words. I'll never forget those words. That was, to me, that was the best part. When she said that, it was like, yeah. And like you said, even times where you couldn't tell on the television, but times where I was getting a little choked up, she would give those eyes to me like, you got this. She did it. And she got through. Like she literally got me through. Uh, and
And
just
she
so,
was so attentive, writing down notes, and then the
mhm,
questions that she asked both of us were so
yes,
engaging, and they were the right questions to ask. And obviously she has a briefing book, as most of those folks in those positions do. But I feel like those were genuine questions from her. I don't know if they were in her briefing book. She really had those questions. She really
yeah,
knows the power of how doulas fit as a whole into this whole birth community.
right,
Obviously doulas and birth workers are not the end all be all answer to help in this maternal and morbidity crisis, but we are part of the solution as well as everyone
right.
else working together to help reduce these rates. So
Hmm.
yeah, were you surprised by the questions she asked, Heather?
I didn't know what she was going to ask me. My, my prayer was that I had the correct answer. It was, yeah. I didn't know what she would ask. I did. You know what? I thought she would just comment on our stories. I actually didn't think she would specifically ask questions.
Got you. No,
Hmm.
but you did excellent. You did an excellent job answering, and I'm so
You
happy
did.
you were able to bring all your angel gowns too, and So obviously, for those of you who have not watched the full video, it's about 53 minutes, almost a full hour of a roundtable. Go on YouTube and type in, go to the White House press page, and it's on that page, and it says Vice President's Black Maternal Health Roundtable, and you should be able to view that full 53-minute video there. And
Yeah.
girl, so let me tell you a little side note. So I went on C-SPAN today, and I downloaded the video.
Look, and how'd you do that?
I got you. I'll make sure to text you a link where it's at. But it's available. It's available on YouTube for free. So you all can go watch it on YouTube. So once all the cameras went down, let's talk about the press. We're in the room because the press were obviously we were on the stage, but the press were down. Me and Heather were on the ends of the podium. So we
Mhm.
saw all the press with their cameras, and the ones that were in there actually taking notes and had a recorder. So let's talk about the press, Heather.
The press, like, it's funny because they come in a line, like they're like, you can bring in the press, and the press comes in a line, and they set up, and they've got cameras like the size of a car, just like clicking away. But they're all silent, which is crazy. Um, but what the press know, I can tell they know this, but what they didn't practice yesterday is when it's over, they're supposed to leave. And when they don't leave, they get checked. So when they know they're supposed to leave and they don't, they get called by name. So and so, it's time to go. So that was that was a sight to see.
See,
The
because they were not
they're
playing. The
not,
comms folks that work for the White House, they were not playing. They were like, y'all need to go. So then at
Mhm.
that point, Ambassador Rice had another meeting immediately, like another hard meeting. So she left. But Kamala did come back around and thank us individually and was just gracious to us and gave us kind words again. Like I don't know, I felt so full, Heather. Like I was just like, obviously, this is a great platform for us to share these stories, but to see someone who looks like me, who acknowledges me and my story and my wholeness, but also knows what I
yeah.
represent by all of the women who are in this Sisters in Loss community, and being able to pour into me so that I can continue to pour into others. It was priceless, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. That's just kind of how I felt. Like this was a priceless moment.
There is no word. There's no word to sum up the experience that we had. It was like a dream. And I wrote on my, those of you that are friends with me on my personal page, I wrote, I always tell my friends and tell my family and tell God when I pray, I want to meet Oprah. I just always envision myself sitting down with Oprah and telling our stories. And God said, but we can even find somebody who can make changes. Like you can tell your story and make some changes. And then,
Right.
to me, I still feel like I'm dreaming. I still can't believe it. It's amazing.
I mentioned this earlier today. Someone they interviewed me and they asked me that, like, do I feel like with this new administration that change is going to be made? And to be honest with you all, I really do. Like I feel like they're putting their money where their mouths are. And we've had a lot of other issues in Congress. I mean, there's so many other big, huge issues that they do not agree on. But this is one thing they actually agree on, you know. So for them to be more willing and for it to come from the White House down, so it's like a top down leadership type of thing, I think that makes it more, it's a congruency. Everybody's on the same page on the action that needs to be taken. And then grassroots organizations like Sisters in Loss, like Kennedy's Angel Gowns, are going to be able to get money to do this work.
Yeah.
And I think that is the biggest thing out of all of it, besides all of the other, the other things that are in some of those bills, particularly the Omnibus Act. I think that bill, that act that has 12 different bills, is going to help, along with the budget items that they talked about yesterday. So I'm proud of being able to say, yes, this
Mm-hmm.
administration is going to do right by Black moms and babies. And we are going to continue to hold their foot to the fire, y'all. Like, we're not going to stop and say, hey,
Yep.
yeah, Black Maternal Health Week is done with. No, we're going to still get out and do the work. And we're going to still hold our representatives, all our legislators, accountable. And that's not just at that federal level. A lot of the stuff that we have going on impacts us at the state level. So that means going back to your local, town issues, your issues that are happening in your state too, as well, and really understanding how does that going to affect you and what you have going on. So,
And I think,
let's talk about
Erica,
just go ahead and comment.
the other thing was before we had even my child just turned the light off on me. Before we had even left,
You good? You're good? Oh, you got held up a
can you hear
little
me?
bit? I can hear you. Yes. You good? Hello?
Okay.
It keeps freezing.
Before we had
Okay.
even went to go to lunch,
Did what before we went to lunch?
they had already put the proclamation in place.
They did. did. And I think that that was even better too, because we're like, we're literally walking off campus,
Hmm.
and they're like, and I'm looking on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they just passed the proclamation for Black Maternal Health Week, which is kudos to Black Mamas Matter, because obviously, 4 years ago, um, Elizabeth and Elizabeth and the co-director, can't think of her name right now, charged to my head, not my heart. They both had this vision of what this week would look like. And I don't think they really knew that it would come to this from a legislative perspective. So for it to be recognized from the White House, it's the highest honor, you all. So continue to go out and do this work, not just this week, but be things that they can do, Heather. So let's talk about what we can do as all the organizations that are represented here today. What can we do collectively to really continue to move this conversation forward?
So for me, I think that it's all of us joining together. I think that it's not the work of we can't, sisters in Lost and Kennedy's Angel Gowns can't do this alone. It's it's finding more doulas and training them and getting them certified. It is the funding. The funding is huge. We can't do it without the funding. So the funding sources is getting the ears of people that can make change, which we've started to do that. There is the proclamation that's put in place. So I think it's a combination of multiple things that we need to do um, to get started. Because if you listened to the Dr. I'm gonna say her name wrong. It's
How,
Dr. Say it again.
Dr. Howe?
Hmm. If you listen to what she said, she's been doing this research for over 2 decades. So though some people are thinking that this is a new thing that's plagued the Black community, it's not new. The research has been put in place for 20 years, meaning that it was happening prior to the 20 years that they started to even make a cause to do some research. So I think it's part science. It's holding the medical professionals, putting their feet to the fire to make sure that they are being accountable. And she mentioned something else that I thought was interesting. She said it's rewiring the brain,
Oh, it is.
literally rewiring their brains. So
Yeah.
I think that that's just the start. That's the start of where we can start to see some change.
Absolutely. So, since you have both of us here, I would love to answer some questions, guys. So, there is a question box at below. Click on that question box, and we will answer some questions for the next 10 minutes or so. But thank you all for tuning in. This has been great to be able to recap live for you all and have this opportunity to share about just how our experiences were yesterday and how we're feeling now. I mean, obviously there's still work to do, but it's good to know and recognize that we are part of the solution with a lot of the work that each and every one of us are out there doing, and we can still have a great impact in our local communities, right? I think that I think we seldom forget that, and I teach that in my doula training. It's like you all can have the greatest impact in your local communities because that's where it starts.
Yep.
Any questions? Let me see if there are any. Ain't none to show up there. Okay, y'all. No questions.
What would it come in the comment box, or do you put something fancy down there?
Yeah, I got something down here where
Big-
question box where well, I didn't see any questions, and most people were just commenting on our conversation as we
Yeah.
went on, as we were talking about it. But I guess we could share with us what's next, Heather. What is next, girl? What you got coming down the pipeline? Because I know you do.
So sky's the limit. I am working on a couple products that for to help bereaved moms. I'm also working on a well, you know, already know I have the product line that we've released. The it's kind of like a body butter, and it's a lavender called Angel Kisses. It smells amazing. I don't just I'm not just saying that. My whole household uses it now, but I'm also working on a cooling device, so actually manufacturing it. So that's in the works. That's coming soon. And continuing with the gowns because that's extremely useful. Continuing with someone in the comments says it's good.
We need to
It's
order.
amazing. Yes, you need to order. It's amazing. And it's homemade, all natural. Um, but I'm also working on my book, which is about to come out soon. So that will be released. You'll get more details when I know more details. I'm not rushing the process. It was something that I said, I got to finish this by the time I'm 40. No, I have to finish it when it's done. And it's not done yet, and that's okay. So we do have an event coming up for Bereaved Mother's Day if you are local to Hampton Roads or if you want to take a nice little field trip to Hampton Roads. We're gonna do screen printing on scarves. I did have to cancel the Angel Ball. I think everyone is zoomed out, and that's okay too. So this
When,
year, I think that what we're gonna do is have the Angel Ball when we can give each other hugs again, and that's not this.
yeah, no. So when is your event for bereaved moms? What date is that?
It's May 2nd, 4 to 6.
That Saturday.
It's a Saturday. No, then it's May 3rd from 4 to 6 because it's that Sunday.
Oh, it's the Sunday. Okay,
Mhm.
I got
Yeah, and it's at Gather in Chesapeake, which is the cutest coffee shop.
you. All
So
right,
those tickets will be up for sale soon.
all right. Will you all follow Angel Gowns to learn more about her organization? But definitely get your body butter, lavender angel
Yeah.
kiss butter, and learn more about her bereaved Mother's Day event in Hampton Roads. For those who may be in Hampton Roads or willing to travel, COVID restrictions will be COVID friendly, guys. Can't do it.
Yes.
Aren't COVID friendly anymore, so everyone will have masks on and all of the above. So that's awesome, awesome, awesome.
You're Thank you for hosting. Thank you for, and you know what, Erica? Thank you for every woman's name that you emailed. Because that meant that they meant enough to you and that you know that they're doing the work. So I hope that we uplifted those voices of the women that were on that list because your voice is just as important.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I called everybody and was just like, hey, I got this amazing opportunity. Can I put your name down? And everyone said yes. They didn't even say, give me more details. I'm like, I don't know them, but I know we're going to the White House. All I know is the day. You don't know the time, if they choose you, I'll let you know if I know more information. And we went from there. But yes, thank you to all the sisters in Los doulas, because really, to be honest with you, those are the people I call, the folks who I know who are out doing this work and have stories that need to be amplified. And I'm honored that you all allow me to pour into you, and then you all pour into me as I train, as we go out and do this work, as we really talk about what doulaing looks like right now and the differences for each and every one of us. So shout out to the Sisters in Law doula community, because you all are amazing. Definitely. Oh, so they found it. Kennedy's Angel Gowns.
Yes, Kennedy's Angel Gowns. I'm sorry, I'm listening to you and not paying attention to the comments. Yes, it's Kennedy's Angel Gowns. If you click on there, you'll be able to find it. And if not, just send me a DM and I can send you the link.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And next thing for Sisters in Loss is a lot more press, a lot more features, a book that I'm shopping around like you are. If I don't get what I want, I'm going to self-publish, so that'll come out.
Yeah.
Continue to do this work, guys. I think after this interview, after this press, just over this last 24 hours, you know, I've gotten probably 15 more interviews, podcast interviews, which is
That's
amazing.
awesome.
I don't normally get that. So a lot more Black women want to share their stories. So that's been crazy to know that more people are willing to share and amplify their voices in this manner. So I'm just honored. I'm honored to be able to share this space with you all, to be able to be in community with each of you all, and just continue to do this work. This work is, I feel like it's our assignments right now. As much work we put into it, you know, our blood, sweat, and tears. But I truly believe that it's God-given. Like, this is a divine assignment for the both of us. And it is nothing but God's grace that brought us together, that keeps us together in our sisterhood. And really for us to continue to do this work in each of our different ways. You know, we really always try to collaborate because we know our lanes and we kind of stay in our lanes, but we know where each of our strengths are too. And we kind of try to help amplify them in any way we shape or form that we see. So I'm so grateful for you, Heather, grateful for all the major work that you're doing in Hampton Roads and beyond, because I'm sure you're going to make it to Richmond. I'm sure you're going to make it up here to Northern Virginia. You're going to just take over all of Virginia.
Wherever God moves me, that's where I'll go. And I never thought that something like this opportunity would come along, but I'm grateful and just and filled, you know. Just
Heather was like, Erica, I'm going to keep calling you back every single day until we get more answers. And I was just like, well, Heather, just call me, girl, we just going to figure this out. And you did.
And 10 times a day. Have you heard anything? Did you get an email? Has she called you? Is it, what are we doing this? Did you get it? Like, what? I called her nonstop.
Like, it's really happening? Like, what is our life, Erica? Like, what is our life that you get a call and a week later you are meeting the vice president? Who would have thought in a million years that 4 years ago, if I did not start this podcast, Heather?
I know.
And as many times that I always feel like, and I just like, like, God, thank you for re-energizing me every time to keep moving.
You keep telling these stories. You keep telling these stories because they need to be heard. And statistics are great and they're scientific. And of course they lead to facts. But when you put a story behind a statistic, that's a movement. And that's what you do.
Nothing like the stories. The stories are so powerful. Storytelling is our activism, y'all. Like, I really feel like that is what Sisters in Loss adds as a part of the conversation. And I'm just, I want to continue to tell these stories and continue to amplify our voices in all media, not just podcasts. So I really want to do video, more more documentary style stuff. So I'm speaking it out in existence, and we know that God bless. Let my helpers find me. Someone is going to come and say, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to amplify this. So I already know I'm going to speak it. We're going to speak it into existence, and we know that God is going to bless it in the future. Any other parting words for everyone watching around Black Maternal, or just really for those of us are in the struggle?
I think actually I want to share, I want to share and leave with words that Kamala Harris dropped on us. And that was that no matter how alone you feel when you're in the midst of anything tragic that you're going through, you're not alone. You are not alone. And I think that to me was everything when she mentioned that to us and told us that we were not alone. And as you can see, the amount of people that have responded tells you that you're not alone. You're never, ever, ever alone, no matter how scary it feels. So please reach out, find your tribe, find your community, and hold tight to them.
Yes. Hold tight to them. And there's so many communities, you all. Like, I mean, obviously, this is one community. Kennedy's Angel Gowns is another one. But there are so many communities that you all can join. And I think you should join them all. I mean, I
Yeah.
think Clubhouse has an amazing community for those who have iPhones. Android is opening up in a few weeks. So definitely join Filling Your Wombs, Chasing Rainbows, Hannah's Daughters on Clubhouse. They have amazing conversations over there. They also have subsequent Facebook groups like Black Women in Infertility, Fertility for Color Girls, Black Women Trying to Conceive in Infertility. These are all amazing Facebook groups along with Sisters in Loss. Join them all. When you find your tribe, you love on them hard, and you ensure help guide you and walk you through the wherever you are on your journey. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this conversation. Thank you again, Heather.
Thank you. And like I said, keep sharing these stories of our sisters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all for your time tonight. Go ahead and give Heather a follow, and we will talk
Yes.
again today. Y'all have a good night,
Have a
everybody.